Think you know Burning Shrine? I'll take you on an in-depth tour of the home of Osiris. Stick around. Hello gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to another GGTV comprehensive Destiny map guide video. I'm Gentleman Gamer, and this time we visit a favorite map of many Guardians, the sun-drenched Burning Shrine. As always, if you clicked on the play button to find the ghost location or to see Headglitches, you can always skip to the times shown on the screen. The Burning Shrine is a smallish arena map constructed by the Vex and located on the Fields of Glass on Mercury. 2/3 of the map take place inside a Vex shrine, filled with lighting arrays and beams of energy, whilst the last third of the map is outdoors on a sandy beach. The skybox is dominated by the sun, to say the least, and the visual feature has some rather serious effects on gameplay. I'll have more to say on that a bit later. The map can be found in all playlists save for Rift. Rift, however, can be selected in private match mode. Burning Shrine was the first ever map in Trials of Osiris. Considered the de facto map for the tournament, Trials has featured the map many times, and will almost assuredly do so again. The map is physically symmetrical along the y-axis, but plays with slight asymmetry due to the fact that the spawns are inverted, and by extension the capture points are as well. They are diagonally opposed across the x-axis. This creates slight imbalances where Alpha Spawn has the advantage of having the blinding sun at their back, and Bravo Spawn is given first dibs on the high ground interior of the shrine. Although the exterior of the map is obviously dominated by the sun's presence, the central features of the interior literally revolve around two tumblers or rotators. These semicircular wheel-like dividers can have the effect of completely changing how the central corridor of Burning Shrine plays. From long sightlines built for sniping and quick access, to tight and cramped spaces susceptible to surprise aerial assaults. The Vex's affinity for symmetry can make identifying specific callouts on Burning Shrine a bit difficult. Let's get a better sense of the layout by going over some of them. Alpha Spawn is on the rightmost side of the beach. Directly in front of Alpha Spawn is the Alpha Opening, or Seaside Opening. Did I say it could be confusing? The path leads to a small elevated platform and the first of 3 special ammo crates. It spawns at the foot of a Vex energy column. Behind the special platform, up a series of steps, is a wide hallway that leads to the location of Sea Point. From Sea Point, players can descend into a cavernous chamber with an elevated central platform, with a large Vex monument of some kind. It's often called Heavy Platform due to the fact that the first of 2 heavy ammo crate spawns behind it. The second of 3 special ammo crates spawns on the opposite end of the platform next to an explosive Vex bomb. More on the exploding boxes a bit later. Continuing counterclockwise leads to the Bravo spawn or inside spawn area and access to another hallway, a bit narrower than the Alpha spawn side counterpart. Down some steps you can find another slightly elevated area and the last special ammo crate spawn behind another column. Through A Point Opening out towards the beach you can find the position of A Point. There are a few architectural features that deserve mention as you can find players using them often. In my research I found the consensus on the naming of these features to be lacking, so for our purposes let's call them the Sun Slab and the A Slab. Some players often call them by their function, A Point Headglitch for instance, but that could get confusing for reasons that will be clear a bit later on. A note about the beach: although the real estate seems to go on for quite a bit, the playable area is not nearly as large as it would seem. A kill zone lies just beyond the play zone, and if the timer runs out on a Guardian while out of bounds, the result is instant death. Continuing counterclockwise leads to the second heavy ammo spawn, which appears underneath a large stone platform. In front of the stone platform you can find the B Point Opening and by extension B Point, which is flanked at either side by the tumblers. There's the central pillar. Behind the central pillar you can find the location of the capture point in elimination. Also in elimination, you can find the singular heavy ammo spawn at the base of the central pillar near the B point spawn. Beyond the pillar is the broken bridge, the callouts for under bridge, A side and C side of bridge, allowing for added specifics. Before we get into the more advanced tips, if you're looking for the map specific ghost, you must load Burning Shrine in private match mode. You can find the ghost behind a grouping of stone blocks just behind the heavy spawn. The ghost is in an out of bounds area located here. It's a good idea to be quick about grabbing it. Additionally, there are 2 explosive Vex blocks found on Burning Shrine. The previously mentioned one at the inside platform special, and a second behind the central pillar in the B point chamber. Some players prefer to detonate these in lulls between fights to protect against the enemy using them. Others like to anticipate movement and bait enemy players into the blast radius before detonating them to deadly effect. Note that the boxes will respawn at the start of individual rounds of elimination. Also worth mentioning is that any contact a player model has with the beams of white light shooting around Burning Shrine can have the detrimental side effect of blinding players momentarily. Before we get into the specifics regarding head glitches, it's important to note that the exterior of the map, with the downward sloping beach and the stone platforms and the blinding sun in the skybox, is basically one massive head glitch.
First blood goes to you.
As a result, it's difficult to go over all the applicable spots, so instead we're going to concentrate on the more popular ones. A quick note, all of the spots I'm about to mention work very well with primary weapons. They aren't just for sniping. With Trials of Osiris being so fond of the shrine, let's start with a quick discussion of the most prevalent spots for opening rounds of elimination. Perhaps the most popular point of engagement is the sniper battle between the Alpha spawn opening and the A side of the bridge. Moving further inside, you will find some players engaging in cross-map sniping battles, tumbler position permitting. A favorite spot of many is to aim out from behind the Vex lamp that juts out of the column near the C side special. It can be very difficult for opponents to spot the glint in time. Although there's a similar spot on the A side special, the column is further back and limits the angle of attack. Another common spot for engaging are the stairs leading up to the hallways on both sides. The change in elevation makes for great concealment. The same is true of the 2 bridge entrances. Both sides are afforded strong cover. A quick note, you can use markings on the right side of the rear wall of the C-side bridge entrance as reference for head level. Players on the bridge should watch out for enemies using the circular edge of the interior heavy platform. These are especially dangerous angles that often conceal even the glint of a sniper scope. If you so happen to be waiting for interior heavy ammo to spawn, be mindful of crafty snipers scoping in from the opposite exterior platform. Some players will use the boxes at the back of Bravo spawn to successfully contend the heavy ammo or players capturing C point. Some of the strongest head glitches in all of Destiny are found on the Burning Shrine. This is in no small part due to the blinding effect of the sun backlighting players on the beach. The sniper glint, let alone the player model, will literally be lost in the overwhelming solar brightness. This makes attacking entrenched positions on the outside of the map especially daunting. Some teams, especially in 3v3 game types, will purposely camp the exterior of the map for this reason. Additionally, in Control, holding A point is the most favorable position, and teams will often ignore C point even if they spawn closer to increase the likelihood of capturing A. Even though B point is inside behind a choke point, the sun's brightness makes for defending B point from capture easier than it would seem. This makes holding A and B the formula for winning in Control. Some of the most used head glitches on Burning Shrine are the steps at Alpha spawn, the steps leading up to B point. The A point slab is amazing for laying down concealed fire on both B point and A point opening. The slab against the leftmost wall of the beach, called Sun Slab here for clarity, is an excellent position to challenge players at the A side special. Flanking on Burning Shrine is especially dangerous with the many access routes. Many of these head glitches can be countered by flanking, so try to avoid coming at them head on. There are some tricky spots on Burning Shrine worth mentioning as well. There's a crevice on the A side of the B point chamber that's great for an ambush. The lamp on the C side of the B point chamber allows for an unusual angle of fire. In the Bravo spawn, there's a small protruding pipe behind a Vex light disc that can be jumped on, here demonstrated by a hunter double jumping and holding the button to follow through on the jump. This is a crafty angle useful for sniping the C side of bridge. Near A point, there's an overhanging lattice of Vex architecture that has a noticeable gap in it. With practice, you can reach it by jumping on top of the nearby stone column. Here you can confuse enemy radar and also unleash aerial supers. In the B point opening, there's a small protruding beam of architecture that can be reached. There's one more really tricky spot worth mentioning. It's in the interior heavy chamber, up on the wall. There's a small niche in the wall, seen here. It can be reached by jumping up on the diamond-like Vex Tech protrusion on the platform, then using class-specific jumps to reach. What makes this spot tricky is that it's actually an out-of-bounds position, giving you only a few precious seconds of time to exploit it. Hunters can fall off and reset the counter, and then using triple jump, finesse their way back into the hole, which could extend the amount of time they can hide in the spot. There used to be a few more areas like this, but in recent patches, Bungie either made them inaccessible or added kill volumes. So a note about some of these more out of the way areas, don't be surprised if some of them are patched out at a later time. If I showed you something new, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, where I stream just about nightly. Thanks for watching. The Gentleman is out.